Greetings and welcome again to the Force4Good Podcast. I'm Dennis Brooks, Senior Superintendent of Police here at the Jamaica Constabulary Force. This week, my guests come from the Criminal Records Office. We have the Deputy Superintendent, who is the Commanding Officer, DSP Traceann Edwards, along with Sergeant Kenroy Legister. He is the Local and International Intelligence Manager. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
First and foremost, the Criminal Records Office is one of the main touch points of the Jamaica Constabulary Force with members of the public. It is a very high traffic formation, and it is an aspect of the force that people don't realize how critical a service we perform for the public. DSP Edwards, the first question I would ask for clarity, what really is a criminal record?
All right. So a criminal record is an official document issued by the Jamaica Constabulary Force to persons within Jamaica and outside of Jamaica who have a conviction or an history of their criminal background. So if you have been convicted of a crime in Jamaica, you would get a conviction letter. If you have not been convicted, you would get a clean record, and that's what we call our police certificate. So the Criminal Records Office is embedded by law in the Criminal Justice Administration Act, and that gives authority to the Commissioner of Police to hold a criminal registry for Jamaicans, whether they are living overseas or in Jamaica. So in 2014, the Criminal Records Rehabilitation Act was amended for persons, Jamaicans living overseas, for their convictions to be treated as if it happened in Jamaica.
Okay. Now, DSP, one of the things that I like to look at in these conversations is the connections, the linkages, because the CRO cannot and does not operate in silos. Strategic partnerships are key. Explain some of the relationships that you have to maintain, whether it's tax office or the Ministry of Justice, the court system. Like on a daily basis, you are bridging gaps in several places.
Sure. So every day we provide records for the courts, and that is one of our main focus. We provide criminal histories for persons who have a matter before the court and is going for sentencing or for a bail hearing. And we also partner with the Tax Administration of Jamaica because they validate the receipts that are used to do our police certificates or police records. We partner with the National Intelligence Bureau within the JCF because they are our point of contact with our international partners. We partner with FLA. We provide background check for FLA. We partner also with the Ministry of Justice, and we do criminal background for persons who want to expunge their records. So if they have an expungement to be done, that is done through the Ministry of Justice, and that is our part of partnering with the Ministry of Justice to get the background, the criminal history of the persons who want their records to be expunged. So those are just some of the persons that we partner with on a daily basis.
Sergeant Legister, am I imagining it, or is it a case that there has been a significant increase in the demand for criminal records? I have seen in the last 5-6 years more persons calling and asking for assistance from a CCN perspective, and I can imagine if they're calling us, that means they're calling you. It would seem as if, especially with the expansion of the BPO industry, and just now as a method that people are using to verify that the people that they are hiring are who they say they are. Is it that nowadays there's just been a significant increase in demand for it?
Yes, there is an increase. There has been an increase for some time. We find more companies, as I said, they are requiring the police certificate to ensure that the person that they're hiring has no criminal history. We have also seen increase in persons going overseas, whether it be in immigration purpose or for just a visa, or persons even employed overseas, seeking employment overseas.
Right.
Yes. So we've seen a great influx. I guess maybe because of the change in times, it has been established that the criminal history of someone or the integrity of the individual is necessary.
DSP, do you also think that we are victims of our own success? Because now that the JCF is delivering a much more efficient service, it would seem as if more people are saying, I can utilize this service rather than something else, that now I'm going to utilize it more. And so because we've gotten better at it, that now, are you of that view?
Yes, I'm of that view that persons, well, companies, most of the companies nowadays and our embassies and so, they rely on us providing that service for them. And so they believe in the integrity of the Criminal Records Office, and so they look forward to getting a clean record from us.
Now, all right, I want you to take us through some steps, because trust me, I've had to learn the steps myself because of, again, the volumes of calls that people get. So in order to be a first point of contact before they start calling you, I've had to learn the steps. Let's deal with the local element, Sergeant Legister. Let's deal with someone in Jamaica needs to go for a job interview, or needs to, they're applying for some scholarship or something, and they're told that they need a police record. What's the first thing that they should do?
The first thing that they should do is to pay the fee at the tax office. It's any tax office island-wide. Or, since of late, the TAJ app has that service that the person can sign in to the app and pay the fee. And the fees are $3,000 for the 1 month service, that's 21 working days, and $6,000 for a 1 week service, 5 working days. After paying the fee, then the person would visit the Police Certificate Application Management System website, and that's cro.jcfcorporatespecialservices.org. With that now, they will be required to create an online platform, an online profile. When they submit the information to create the online profile, what happens is that an email is sent to the individual to activate that profile. After it is activated, they can go ahead and do it. And this profile is a personal profile. And a lot of persons can use this profile you can use it to apply for a friend. Right?
Okay.
Yes.
Explain.
It's an appointment system. So when the person signs on, say for instance, you would like to apply and you're not knowledgeable of the fact, I can use my profile to apply for you. Yeah, but we recommend though that persons try and have these profiles for themselves.
But
yes,
in applying, what are the protocols if you're applying on behalf of someone else?
The protocol is that you will need the receipt of from the individual, a passport size photograph, and the ID. It's for overseas purpose. The ID must be a passport, right? So, in doing the application online, what would be required is to upload the information of the receipt, and you will select a date when available to you to do the fingerprint. That's the physical fingerprint, and you'll be prompted to upload a passport size, the said passport size photograph, and a photo of that ID that you intend to use. Then you'll be required to enter some basic biodata information and the name of the company that you wish to address the certificate to. Very simple. It's a 10-step process. Very simple 10-step.
Mm-hmm. And also, persons can go onto the JCF website, and there's a link that you can click, and it takes you straight to the portal as well. And so you upload the necessary information, and you obtain a date. When you obtain a date, DSP Edwards, and you come to the Criminal Records Office, what can people expect? I have had people call me upon arrival, and they're very nervous. And I mean, because they used to see crowds lined up outside, we've gone through various iterations, even during COVID. But in 2025, what can persons expect? Because some people leave very surprised.
Yes. So when you come to the Criminal Records Office, you can expect a warm welcome, a very good ambience, persons trained to deal with customers. And so when you come, we will take you through the process. If this person comes and does not understand the process, we also have someone who will assist that person to complete the process for them, or to show them on their phones how to complete the process. And we've had that every day.
So there's no need to feel intimidated by the gadgets and the technology. If you are not conversant with the technology, there are persons who will help you. Friendly face and willing. And these are policemen and women?
Policemen and women.
Okay.
And
so no strange and not
civilians there as well.
Yes, so, but there are no strangers, no hangers-on who's gonna tell you, say, give me a thing and I'll help you.
No, we don't have that inside the Criminal Records Office. But you know, this is Jamaica, and from time to time there are persons outside who would try to influence the customers to do the application for them, or to take photographs for them. And
your advice would be to deal with the members of the Jamaica Constabulary Force, and the civilians and the policemen and women who work at the office, engage those persons.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. All right. Is it a costly process, Sergeant Legister? Is it something that's expensive?
No, it's not expensive. As I said before, it's $3,000 for the 1 month service, and it's $6,000 for the...
And that's all. Mm-hmm. And when you come and you go through that, you do your fingerprints. And when you do your fingerprints, then what?
After you've done the fingerprints, then you'll be taken to an interview process. And this interview process is just to clarify the information that you put on the application. Because from time to time, persons come and they will say they are going for visa appointment. But then when you question them, it's not a visa appointment. It's for work permit, or it's for immigration purposes. So we take them through an interview process, and then they'll be given a date when to pick up their police certificate or their conviction letter, depending on the outcome of the investigation into the fingerprints.
And so remind me, I'm going down to Criminal Records Office. What document do I need to bring? What paper do I need to bring with me when I'm on my way there? Right. Don't leave home without what?
Okay, so you need the receipt that you purchased at the tax office, or if you have done it online, you print that receipt and you take it along with you. Also, the completed application is to be downloaded and printed, and you take that along with you. You need a passport size photograph and an identification. If it is for overseas purpose, you need your passport, and that's it.
All right. Let us say, Sergeant Legister, there is a young man in Montreal, Canada, who needs a criminal record. and therefore they're unable to go down to the tax office that they would usually go because they're not in Jamaica right now, and they're not certain what is the equivalent of the process if I am abroad. If I am living in the Bronx right now, what do I do that is different from if I was living in Jamaica?
All right, so the only thing that is different is that that individual living overseas would need to find an office. Normally it's the Jamaican consulate that assists with the taking of the fingerprints. So they would do a certified set of fingerprints, all 10 fingers. Then they would need to get a notary public to certify a copy of their passport and have 2 passport size photographs. Where it comes to payment, if that individual already has a TRN, they can download the TAJ app, sign in, and make the payment, and they will be given an electronic receipt. That electronic receipt, now that individual would need to complete the online application, just like
Using the electronic receipt.
Electronic receipt. And there are steps that they would select to say that they are living overseas and they are applying for the police certificate.
But it doesn't take any longer to get an appointment living abroad.
No, the calendar is not open to somebody who's overseas. Okay. What will happen is just that they complete the application and put all of that in a package, and they can choose to send it to a family member in Jamaica, and then that family member will take the package to our office. Or they can send it through the courier service directly to our office at 56 Duke Street.
But the process is fairly seamless, you're saying?
Fairly seamless.
And it's not a hassle then?
No, it's not a hassle.
Typically, how long does information that is on a police record last? Is it until you die?
All right. So information, meaning a conviction. Okay. So a conviction remains on your record until it is expunged. So if you have a conviction and you've made no effort to expunge it, it will remain there.
I was on social media recently, and I was looking at the comments on a post, and there were persons arguing back and forth about this matter of expungement. And persons were saying how hard it is for a matter to be expunged. Not everything can be expunged, I would imagine. Why is it that people, well, I don't think you can answer why is it the people, but for the record, what are the circumstances that a matter might be expunged from one's record?
All right. So recently, an amendment was made for some offenses to be automatically expunged, and those are, I think, is smoking ganja and the instruments, which is chillum pipe and all of that. So that was automatically expunged, and if the fine is $1,000 or less. Yes. So there are other offenses that are not automatically expunged. Yes.
Is it a case in Sergeant, that if you committed a particular offense before adulthood, that it is a matter that can be automatically expunged, or does it depend on what the matter is?
All right. It depends on the matter, as well as there was a ruling in 2005 of person under a day over 17. So if that individual is a day over 17, then that the record would remain. But if the person is younger than 17 years, then the record would not fall a part of their criminal record. Yes.
So, but as far as expungement is concerned, it is necessary for people to be able to know that you were convicted of a particular crime. That's why a criminal record exists. And so some people who think that they should be open to applying for an expungement. It's not automatic to you. You don't have a right to expungement. Basically, that's what we're saying. Mm.
It's not a right for all offenses to be expunged. So the expungement process does not fall within the remit of Criminal Records Office. Okay. It falls within the Ministry of Justice. And they are the persons who has that authority to decide which offenses they expunge.
All right, let me ask this question in a particular way. Suppose somebody just wants to know if there's anything out there on them. Is there a way to check without applying for a criminal record, or the method of checking is what we have been talking about?
Yes, the method of checking is what we've been talking about. At this time, we do not offer that service for persons to just walk in and find out what convictions they have. Mm-hmm.
But suppose they might be of the view that this is a minor matter. And so this minor matter is it's a minor brush with the law. Or you were a person of interest in something. And notice I'm using the words carefully. You were a person of interest in something, and somebody saw it and maybe thought that, I don't want to hire him. So I'm going to now get a piece of paper that says, I was only a person of interest. I was never convicted. Tell us about that dynamic of people trying to clear their names so that they are able to engage in business, etc.
Okay. Persons of interest would mean that the investigation officer has reason to believe that this person can aid the investigation. If the person was never charged but detained by the police, then that individual would need a report from the police, because the only records that were sent from the court, meaning that the person was charged and placed before the court, and the judge would order the fingerprints to be taken so that they can to find out if this person has previous convictions. That kind of record would be at the Criminal Records Office.
Right.
As well as if the person was convicted, naturally that would form a part of his criminal record. So if the person of interest came entangled with the police and was never charged, then if they would like a report, they would have to approach the police, the station that they were charged at.
A little addition to that is that not all minor offenses or a brush with the law means that you have been convicted. Exactly. And so we keep records of convicted persons. So we just don't keep records of just random persons for small offenses, traffic tickets and all of that. We don't keep records for those. It's a fingerprint that is taken, and that's the reason why we would have that information. So if you did not take your fingerprints, we don't have any information. We would not have any information for that person being entangled with the law. So if it's a minor offense, no, we would not have that information if a fingerprint was not taken. Certainly. Because we identify persons by their fingerprints and not by name. So your fingerprints has to be in the database for us to identify you.
DSP Edwards, it is a very interesting conversation. There's so much more that I'd like to ask you, but we're out of time. I'd ask, can you rejoin us next week for a continuation of the conversation? Sure. All right, my guests have been Deputy Superintendent of Police Trace-Ann Edwards, the Commanding Officer for the Criminal Records Office. I've also been joined by the local and international intelligence manager at the CRO. He is Sergeant Kenroy Legister. We've been having a great conversation. That's all the time we have for this week. But next week, we will continue this conversation about the Criminal Records Office. This has been the Force for Good podcast. Till next time, take care.